Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Naomi and let's dream about beauty. Today I'm going to show you a tutorial about how I do my eyebrows. So by do I mean how I tint my eyebrows. So here are the things that you're going to need. You're going to need water, and you're going to need some cotton swabs. You're going to need some tweezers. You're going to need some Q-tips. And lastly, but most importantly, you're going to need an eyebrow tint kit. So this is an eyebrow tint kit called Refecto-Sil. I get it from Amazon. I have two colors. I have natural brown and I have pure black. So this is my little mixing container, and this is the developer liquid. I have a little spoolie brush for brushing my eyebrows. I have it's a little wand, and it comes with the kit, and I use it for mixing the developer. And then the instructions. So I would like to mention that I am not a licensed esthetician, so if you follow this tutorial, you're doing so at your own risk. I have to say that using this technique, I've done my own eyebrows, I've done my mother's eyebrows, and it turned out pretty well. And my daughter does her eyebrows also. So the other thing I wanted to say is that I get my eyebrows done by an esthetician once every couple of months. She shapes them for me and she tints them, and then I tint them maybe about weekly because I like them a little bit darker and bolder, and it just helps with not having to fill them in as much. Or if you don't want to fill them, you can go and go about your shopping or whatever your errands do, and you don't feel like your eyebrows are naked. So, and here's the thing about tinting. I tint my eyebrows because I want all of the hairs of my eyebrows. I like having bold eyebrows, and so I want all of my eyebrow hairs to be noticed. So a lot of people think that they have thin eyebrows, but actually they just have a lot of fine hairs. And if you tint those hairs, they will be much more noticeable and your eyebrows will look a lot thicker. So I highly recommend tinting your eyebrows if this is not something that you already do. So Amazon in Canada particularly is what I'm referring to, has these Refecto-Sil kits and colors for pretty reasonable. I think they're about $20, $20 to $30, and they have a few different colors that you can choose from. So there's like sort of auburn color, there's blonde, there's blue, black. So and my mother, who has like kind of platinum colored hair, when I did her eyebrows, I just used the natural brown and it turned out fine. But they also have a carbon color as well for those of you who might want a little bit more of sort of a cool toned ashy eyebrow. Okay, so the directions say that you need to squeeze out about 2 centimeters of your of the color. So I have figured out that in my little cup that about approximately how much that is. But what I recommend that you do your first time is that you actually just measure it out. So I will squeeze out about that much. Now don't be alarmed, because when you look at this, you're gonna see that it looks quite red, but actually it's, sorry, I don't know if this is focusing. You're gonna see it looks quite red, but don't worry about that because that's not the actual color of it. I'll put the lid back on. Then because of the color of my hair and the color I want my eyebrows to be, I will squeeze a little bit of the black. I don't use too much, but I squeeze out a little bit of the black. So this is what it looks like. Got a little bit of the brown, or sorry, mostly brown, and the black. And I found that this is about the amount that you need, give or take. Then the directions say, sorry if you couldn't see the black part, because I should show you that again just in case, because the black is kind of squeezed out there on the edge there. I think maybe that's a better picture. So then you take the developer and you squeeze 10 drops into your little cup here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Put the lid back on. Get my little stirry thing, my little mixer, and then I just mix it together. If you remind me, I'll show you my new glasses I just got. They're pretty nice. I would make jokes about being a sexy librarian when I wear them, but that's so 1980s. Kidding. All right, so I've got that mixed up. Now I'm going to show you the consistency. So the consistency is such that it's not runny, like it wouldn't fall out of my cup. Let's see, hopefully that will. And I've got the black all mixed in with the brown. And you can see already that it's starting to change colors. Oh, and the other thing that I have is Kleenex, because I don't like to put like this stuff, you know, it's dirty now. So I lay it down on top of a Kleenex just to keep my work area clean. Okay, so now the next step is I'm going to get my brush, which I use the brush that it came with. I find that it works pretty good, but any narrow tipped brush would do fine. And so I just have to make sure. So you'll be able to see and I'll be able to see. Okay, so now I just take some on my brush and I just start applying it to my eyebrow, and I'm not very precise in how I apply it. I just start putting it on. And I'm quite generous with how much I use. And just follow your eyebrow. Again, I'm not precise in how I do this. Now when you leave it on, the directions say leave it on for about 10 minutes, but if this is your first time doing it, I would probably leave it on for less time, and you can always reapply more. But if you go too dark, then it's more difficult. Okay, so now that I have it, that looks so good. Now I use my Q-tip and I carve out the actual shape that I want. I run it along the top. I flip my Q-tip and I run it down the edge. Then I get a new Q-tip and I run it underneath. Sorry, I have a bit of a blob of it here. I just have to kind of blend that in. The blob is trying to come off on my... take your Q-tip and run it underneath your brow till you have sculpted out the approximate shape that you want. And I got a little bit high right in here that I wanted, so I'm just going to put a little bit more on. Another Q-tip. This is kind of a process that you know, as you work at it, you're going to, I don't really want my corners, I'd rather have it a little bit rounded off. And then, so there, that's about the shape that I want. Now, I can clearly see the eyebrow hairs that I want plucked underneath in here, in this area here, because everything that I want to keep is covered in tint, and everything that I don't want to keep, I can see. So I will pluck out my hairs, and actually I'll do this eyebrow, and then I will, yeah, that makes more sense. I will do this eyebrow. So again, I'm just putting a little bit on my brush. Okay, and just brush it on my brow. Sometimes when I get my brows done, you can, if you notice when you're done, you might have some skin staining just underneath your brow hairs, and that's actually pretty good because then it makes your eyebrows look fuller and you don't have to fill them. So that's kind of cool. But again, the only part I would say is with this part is you don't want to dally, right? Because I don't want to leave my eyebrow looking like this for like a long time. So I would try to work. I mean, I'm not in like a huge rush, but I don't want to, you know, sit here for a long time with. So again, you take your Q-tip and I just carve out the shape that I want. Sorry if I went off frame there for a second. So I am just going to add a little bit more to this eyebrow. I just, if you have a magnification mirror too, it's helpful to use the magnifying mirror. So anyhow, it's a process of brushing the dye on and then shaping how you want your shape. Now I suppose if you preferred, you could be very finicky with how you first apply it so that you don't have to keep going back, but I prefer this method. So yeah, like I said, it's just a process of tweaking how your shape looks. And I always like this eyebrow easy. This eyebrow is always giving me trouble. Everybody has a good eyebrow and a bad eyebrow. And you can probably see that this eyebrow is turning quite dark. All right, so now that I've got the approximate shape that I want, I'm going to leave this on for 7 to 10 minutes and I will be right back. Hi, okay, so now I'm back and it's time to take the tint off of this eyebrow. So the first thing I do is I get one of my dry cotton swabs. I use the ones from Shiseido, I love them. And the first one, dry, I just wipe away the tint. I fold it and I wipe again, okay? And then the second one, I spray with my water. And I go in and wipe away. So you can see that looks pretty good. It's the shape I want. I've got those random hairs underneath. I should tell you that Aleasha, she's fresh-faced something. I will put her Instagram down below. She's at Beauty Bar in Airdrie. She does my eyebrows every couple of months and she's the one who shapes it. So I do not tweeze my own brows or do any shaping other than just grabbing a few spare or like little hairs that come in underneath here. But I don't trim or anything my own eyebrows. And I would have never had the courage to tint my own eyebrows, but I've seen her so many times and I have an idea of what she does and I've watched her do other people's. So okay, so now I'm not going to take this off yet because it hasn't been on for as long as this one has, but I am going to take my spoolie and I'm just going to brush through. And I don't know if it looks any different than it did when I first started, but it looks pretty good, I think. The brows are nice and dark, not too dark, doesn't look too overwhelming. And you can see that there's no staining on the skin of where I originally had put it before I carved out my shape. So, and we just wait. So I will come back in a couple of minutes when my left eyebrow is ready to do. Okay, so I'm back and I'm going to do my left eyebrow. So again, taking a dry cotton swab, I just remove the tint, fold it, and give it another go. And then just spray the cotton pad with the water. There, and that looks good. So then I brush it up. I'm gonna go with a little bit more water on this one. Ooh. My Amazon packages are here. Yes! Okay, so that's my eyebrow tutorial. That's how I tint my own eyebrows. I'd like to say thank you to Lorna for requesting this video. And if there's any other content that you want to see, tutorials or anything, just let me know, and I would be happy to do that for you. And otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you spending your time with me. Time is our most precious commodity, as I always say, and when you spend yours with me, it makes me feel very special. So have a great day. Thank you, and take care.